Welcome back to another episode of First Shoes. And in today's video, I'm going to cover off the West Coast Eagles. And I was really impressed with the way they moved the ball off the half-back line, but also the way they're able to get through with hands. Collingwood's defence is probably the best I've seen for a very long time, and they dissected their defence in the first half. And I'm going to look at how they were able to kick inside forward 50. They kicked off the line. They didn't allow for Collingwood backs to actually set up and intercept the mark. I thought it was really impressive in the first half. So I'm going to cover how they were able to move the ball, how quickly they moved the ball, and in particular how they were able to kick it inside forward 50. So let's get into the clips now and I'll show you how they're able to do it. So you might have heard they were talking about during the week, I think it was on Fox Footy, they were talking about the speed of the ball, a new stat that they've brought in, and this is exactly what the Eagles did. And what they were able to do is they were able to identify not only players that were laterally, but also players that were on the 45. But the way they moved the ball, they changed direction, they changed the angles, and they just didn't allow for Collingwood to set. So Baker had a wonderful game, and so did McCarthy. I think his second game just to add speed on the ball off the half-back line. So Baker gets back off the mark, and he knows it's two. You can see with his eyes, you see his eyes there. He knows there's one there, laterally, which I just showed you, but then he knows there's one there on the 45. He kicks, sees a spare out here, kicks on the 45, but this guy in particular comes in really handy because he actually presses up and becomes another outlet laterally. A great kick from Baker. Spots him up on the 45. But what I would like about this, so they've got their players back. So 1, 2, setting up the zone. So in line with where the goals are. So they've set up really well. But they're really patient on this, the Eagles. Really patient. So they identify that, hey, I don't want to kick there. There's no space. There's no one leading up to actually get that next possession. So they just hold. So they look laterally, and that's that player that's come up. That was lateral to Baker. So the ability to actually use that. So not be prepared. In the first half of the year, they would just bomb it. They would get it and just wheel and go. But they showed a bit of patience in the first half. But what I like about this, he plays on, and you've got Flynn as the ruck, really close to Darcy. So the ability to go forward and make him accountable is really good because what Darcy Cameron likes to do is suck back as the loose in D50. But the good thing about this entry inside forward 50 is it goes deep. And it goes out, they get nothing from it. It goes out from the stop for a ball, boundary throw-in. But this kick here, this long kick gets over all these numbers for Collingwood. So the ability to go laterally and then to kick it in and get it in deep was really, really good. Liam Ryan here, I thought his ability to come up into the midfield and then put pressure on, force a turnover and run forward was outstanding. I showed a video earlier in the year, and I've done a few on the Eagles because I just love the way they're making incremental improvements. But early in the year, there was positions where Liam Ryan pushed up, put the contest on, but they never used him going forward. It's a total 360 now. They're actually using him going forward, and that's his work rate. And on the weekend, they used him in the midfield, which was really, really good. So trying to get him more minutes in the midfield, but use him similar to Cozzy in a way to try and have that pressure and that speed in the middle. So just watch him here. So they try and get this dinky kick inside, but they cut it off. So really good awareness from West Coast Eagles to press up. So they get the turnover, but watch Liam Ryan here. So he's put pressure on, he's forced his turnover, but then the ability to run forward. And they mentioned this on the commentary where the Eagles players are able to get on the front side. And when you do that, and I've said this before, when you actually go forward, you might not get used, but it's your unrewarded running to create space behind you. And also, with your opposition, it makes them accountable to actually switch and go with you. And I also like this from Flynn too, the ruck. He stands here, and by him standing here, he doesn't get it, but then it makes Darcy Cameron accountable so it doesn't allow him to suck back behind the play. The other thing I love that they did is they handballed. Right, so he hasn't gone back off the mark at all. He's basically waited for runners, and this created speed on the ball. But also, what it did is encourage the run from behind. So he's not even worried about going back off the mark. And they did this a number of times, and I'll show the clips where they have. They just stood there and waited for the runners to come from behind to then get through. And this is how you play against Collingwood, in my opinion. You've got to be really quick. You've got to have the courage to run from behind, courage to give the hand pass, but also the spread up ahead. So he gets it, and look who's out. So the ability to run. And Darcy Cameron's still here. He was trying to go off, but because their ruck stayed laterally, he then is in two minds. Should I go back or not? Because then they could use the ruck going through the midfield. And out they go for their first goal. So the ability to spread on the front side and get really hard on the goal side. So this is a really good play. They've got it. Got backward of centre, the Eagles, and the ability to run. They all get involved here. All these players get involved. So the ability to run, but then to finish off inside forward 50 is really impressive. So they carry the ball, they use it. Graham might have given it a bit too early there. He should have waited for the defender to come, but still, they're attacking. They've got run, so it's really, really good. Dribble on the ground, which a lot of the teams are doing now, which is great. A lot of the defenders put their hands up, so why not hand pass on the ground? And they practice this a lot. And there was that run from behind. So that was that runner that was back here. So running laterally. So running from behind, really, really impressive. So the ability to take off, but because they were using their hand passes, particularly if they took the mark or got a free kick and used the hand pass, it creates that run from behind. And that's what you want. If you give the hands, then they just keep running. They keep running. And then I love this. So where's the space? Right there. There's an option there too, but you're sort of kicking across your body, so it's quite a difficult kick. But to focus on the basics, you just kick it into this space. That's where the space is. That's where the favoured side is for your teammate. And what they were doing earlier in the year is they were actually sitting on their teammate's head. Whereas this, you just put out the space. Bang, takes the mark, goes to space, puts it on the favoured side. So really good. So the ability to connect with hands from their back 50 and then to have the poise to put it into space. So this is my favourite one from Liam Ryan. So Duggan, so he leads up here and Duggan kicks along, just goes over his head. But just watch the second and third and fourth efforts from Ryan to get amongst this and actually support once it's turned over. So he kicks it and just kicks it over his head. Might have been mistiming there, but great awareness to push up and great awareness for Duggan to actually look at it, because Duggan, from my mind, it bombs it too often. So the ability to actually lower his eyes was good. So it shows that the coaching staff are trying to work with him on that sort of part of his game. So Liam Ryan's been, so he hasn't been used to go over his head. So just watch his work ethic in this passage of play. So moving across. So they're trying to switch it through the midfield, Collingwood. So Liam Ryan's still going. Going at Pendlebury. So still involved in the play. Tries to get the tackle on. Still involved. Collingwood try to go forward, but now it's turned over. So they Eagles win it back on their half back line. Look at this. Now he's spreading. Bang, he's out. So not only did he the ball go over his head over there, he forced a turnover here, which forced a bit of a basic error from Collingwood. Then from there, he's laterally spread to now, look at the space in front of him to go inside forward 50. So really awesome play. I love that. Great energy. And then to have the poise to kick it to the favoured side. So look at all those numbers for Collingwood. And as I said before, they always go in line. So wherever the ball is, they go in line with where the goals are. Liam Ryan has kicked it off the line, and there's their spares there. So really good awareness. So Harley Reid wins the contested footy here and is able to get it out into space. It's a really good play. But then it's the ability of these players here. They don't necessarily get involved, but the ability to spread, which then creates space behind them for others to run into. Great work by Baker, just to lower his eyes. Early in the year, they'll just be happy to bomb that and get out of the way. But look at this lateral spread from the West Coast Eagles. So Baker's kicked it up, but this is what I loved, and was certainly a clear message at the start of the game. When you're on the mark, look for players from behind. Give them the hands. Reward the runners from behind. He's not even thinking about getting back off the mark. He's looking. His vision is who's coming, who's running from behind. Man on the mark can't do anything. Stationary, has to stand still. So eliminate that defender by having run from behind. Bang to Baker. So great offensive running, really good. So the ability to then get on the move, but go straight at the teammate that's got the ball and eliminate that defender on the mark. Then this kick just off the line, not towards the goals, just off the line. They make a contest here. It just eliminates. If you kick it there, that's where Collingwood love to come off. But they just create a contest here. Great hands to Liam Ryan. Fantastic by a first gamer. Great awareness. And there they are. And they could have given it off, but they ends up kicking a goal. So really good transitional run there from backward half for West Coast Eagles. So Harley Reid wins the free kick. And this is handball straight away. So create a great awareness to run from behind, but the ability to reward those runners from behind. And this is a good kick from Duggan. Doesn't kick it in line with the goals, as I keep saying. Just kicks it to the favoured side. And great awareness by a first gamer to identify that when you see the play unfolding, you've got to identify who that kicker is. Right footer, left footer. So you've got to really sum it up really quickly, because this is, in this game, those little 1%ers, but also gaining that extra yardage because you know that that's a left footer, gives you that opportunity to get some space between you and your opponent. And that's great awareness by a first gamer to realise that Duggan's a left footer. This is the space to lead into, and you kick it off the line, but it's a great kick. So it's a good awareness. Good mark. First gamer goes back, kicks his first, I think it was his first goal, but kicks a goal from outside 50. So great awareness to then be able to identify his left footer. I'm leading to his leg into the space. Now this is my favourite play of the night from the Eagles. So Collingwood win the ball and they kick it deep inside their forward 50. Eagles win the contested mark. So really good. Gets back off the mark, and here's this movement. So really good. So the ability to lower your eyes, but have spread in the 45. So not come this direction when you go over passing lanes. The ability to spread, then hold. The key is to hold. Don't go too far, because then this guy can come off. You've got to spread, but then hold. There it is. Hold, bang, lower your eyes, good awareness. But the other important thing about this, and what they're working on, is to have run from behind. Bang, McCarthy. So he was here, took off. Identify that was the link-up play. Now the next connection piece is up the field. The ruckman. So there's Darcy Cameron waiting in line. So he was anticipating that would kick down the line with their defence set up. So he would then, but then this is a really good set play. The ability for the ruck to then spread on the 45 to be used. There you go. So the ruck, now they're in the corridor in a really good position. But once again, he's not getting back off the mark. They want to play quick. They want to be able to get over this defensive setup from Collingwood, and the way to beat that is to reward the runners from behind. Bang, over to Duggan. But then what he does, he kicks it off the line. There's Darcy Moore. Right, so once again, in line with the goals. But no, Duggan kicks it off the line. Lateral run laterally, 45 run from West Coast Eagles. Really, really good. But then he looks, but he's looking in this way. He knows that if he goes around, goes straight at the goals, they've got the ability, Collingwood, to intercept that. But the change of direction is really, really impressive. Bang in the middle. Kelly has come from the back 50 all the way. So really good offensive running. He's the one that ends up kicking it. Goes into a dangerous position. They have representation in the front, so good. Going away from goals, gives it away. So the ability to get in the vision as well. Graham cuts back in, over to Kelly, goal. So I really love the way they were able to use their hands quite a lot. They had great support from behind, but what was really impressive is that when they had the mark or a free kick, they didn't get back off the mark to give Collingwood time to set up their V-shaped defensive zone that they are really, really effective at. What they did is held and honoured the run from behind. You saw that in a couple of clips where the player on the mark, the player standing on the mark, the player with the ball didn't even get back off the mark. They just gave the hand pass straight away, and that created movement up the field, and they're able to get on the 45. But when they were coming through and when they were actually doing that, they weren't just kicking straight to goals. They were kicking off the line and lateral spread. So it all worked in synergy, and it was a really good first half. Really impressive footy from West Coast Eagles. You can see the development. You can see the way they're improving their speed on the ball, but the ability to kick off the line. So a really good first half by the West Coast Eagles.